What is the spiritual malady, and why is it the root of almost every addiction? My name is Tim from the Academy of the Mental Arts, and I made a diagram showing how this goes about. So it all starts with needing to know that every human being has base needs, and these are Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And each of the 5 sections has many things within it that relates to the main topic of that need, right? So we have our physiological needs that everybody has. We have safety needs. Everybody has the need for a sense of connection or love and belonging. And self-esteem. And then at the very top, that's self-actualization or reaching our highest potential. And we need these things to get to the next one, right? We need to feel like our body is safe. We need to feel like we are safe. We need to feel a sense of belonging. Our self-esteem needs to be healthy so that we can access our highest potential. So the thing is that nobody's life is perfect. We're going to have areas or events or things that happen that cause us to have fear, trauma, pain, and anger, all because one of these things in development or in a specific period of time was not met. So traumatic experiences can happen. And the thing about traumatic experiences is that underneath all traumatic experience is the common denominator of a form of loss. So if I had a traumatic experience involving my body, right, then it may be a lack of food, a lack of air, where I felt starved, sick. In some cases, psychosis can happen. Traumatic experiences involving the body. Safety and security, you can have all kinds of traumatic experiences involving your safety and security. And those are so scary because it's a base need. Same with these other needs. So love and belonging is one of the most important, because if you don't have love and belonging, you won't feel as you can work on your self-esteem, and you might have some negative core beliefs because you didn't get love and belonging. So the thing about a traumatic experience is that it's different than a physical wound. A physical wound I can heal from, but a traumatic wound is not physical. It is beyond time and space because it can persist. So that's why we call it the spiritual malady. Malady means bad, right? Mal in Spanish means bad. So malady is a wound or a sickness. So a spiritual wound, a spiritual sickness that's inflicted by a traumatic experience. So as soon as that happens, a void is formed from what need was missing. So if I didn't get my physiological needs, then I'm going to be seeking physical needs. If I didn't get safety, I had a traumatic experience that made me feel unsafe, I'm going to be seeking safety or have an underlying feeling that I'm unsafe. If I didn't get love, I'll have an underlying feeling that I need it and I seek it. Same with self-esteem, same with self-awareness. So because of this void, it leads to negative thoughts. And these negative thoughts, if they're given enough attention and they're repeated, they're made into a habit. And when they're made into a habit, that's when they become subconscious programs, or what we call core beliefs. So a negative thought could start as, I'm not good enough, but then it could become the core belief that you're not good enough. And this could lead to all kinds of other negative thoughts and emotions. But the one thing you got to realize is that these negative thoughts are married to negative emotions that match that vibration of thought. So what's interesting about it is that depending on the need, the loss that you had, chances are it's going to create shame. If you didn't get loved, you might feel ashamed of yourself or that you're not accepted. If you don't know yourself, your highest potential, you might feel lost and angry about it, or sad about it, or empty about it. If you experience a loss of safety or something with your body, or even any trauma is out of your control, so just dwelling on it creates anger because we want to change what we can't control. It's always going to create anger. sadness, shame. These voids create negative emotions. And the thing about the negative emotions are, they all are low vibrational. They're going to take you out of a state of peace, out of a state of mindfulness, of problem solving, of activation of certain parts of your brain. For that, it all gets turned off with stress, because stress is saying to your body that your life's in danger. But what happens if this stuff happened like 20 years ago? And as soon as I have a negative thought, a negative memory, or anything relating to it, I'm still affected by these negative core beliefs from it and these negative emotions. And that's why it's a sickness, a spiritual sickness that I need to find a remedy for. So the thing is, we did try and escape, because fight or flight is triggered. We're going to look for an escape. So it makes sense that our go-to denial is the first thing we experience. So before we go into the negative behaviors, check it out. The 5 stages of grief, because all of these are forms of loss of some kind. Check what the first stage is of grief. You're going to immediately go to denial, and then anger, and then trying to find a way around it, and then, depression before you finally accept what you're going through. So you stay in denial with these negative behaviors off these negative emotions from these rooted negative core beliefs. So addiction, isolation, and then all other forms of the ego are forms of denial. And there's all kinds of defense mechanisms. I don't have them all listed up here. But because of fear, because of the unknown, I might start to jump to conclusions and make assumptions, which would be cognitive distortions. I might think I'm less than myself, which is a distortion. I might take my anger out on others, which is a form of denial, is not dealing with it. So let's go with addiction, because that is usually what we look to, anything that can give us some relief from this pain. So we look to physical things at first, right? So because they give us a temporary positive emotion of either pleasure or numbing us. And the thing about it is that physical things like drugs, alcohol, attention, people, all kinds of other stuff, those things can come and go. So because they are bound by time and space, they're physical, they're of the world, the temporary emotion from them will end. It runs out, and your body gets used to that, and then that's how an addictive behavior gets conditioned in the body, is because, oh, this gave me a little relief, it's gone now, I need more, I need more, I need more. And the thing about the body is you're going to consistently need more and more of it to have that same pleasure or numbness. Okay, so then there'll be a passage of time, and guess what is not solved? That same spiritual malady. We tried healing a spiritual wound with physical things. So because of that, there's going to be internal frustration and stress. It's going to cause you to have negative emotions, guilt, shame. Because of it, it just worsens. And then you end up going back to the same negative thoughts. And then now you're in the bottomless pit, or what they call addiction. You're trapped in this vicious cycle of negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative behavior, negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative behavior. And literally you get stuck in the cycle of insanity because you keep expecting something different, but doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, so here's what's crazy, is at a certain point, the anger, the guilt, the shame, all this is going to be too much. And the increased amount of hurt can come from a rock bottom, a sudden realization, somebody setting a firm boundary with you, whatever the case may be. It will pull you out of denial and give you a brief moment of honesty. That brief moment of honesty, saying enough is enough, I'm sick of being sick, I'm sick of this, is literally that brief moment of clarity and acceptance that gives you hope. And having that hope, getting out of your ordinary world, if you guys know the hero's journey, follow me for more, you want to learn more about this, you're escaping the ordinary world, the comfort zone, and you're answering the call to adventure. Now that call to adventure is going to lead you all the way to other places, but not even worried about the journey. I want to ask you guys this: can I heal a spiritual wound with physical stuff? I can't, because physical stuff is bound by time and space, is going to run out. So I want you guys to think about this. What non-physical thing that's not bound by time and space, meaning that it's not bound by time, it's going to last forever, it's not bound by space, it's always with us and everywhere. What non-physical thing can give you peace, love, acceptance, safety, self-esteem, and sadness Follow me for more if you're interested in learning more.